Hi guys and welcome back to my channel. So this is obviously part 2 to how I create my flawless look. Today is obviously focusing fully on the eyes and last week's was on the base. So if you want to see that video I will leave it down below. So obviously this is just what I do for my eyes, my tips and tricks and what works for me. If it doesn't work for you or you don't agree with what I have to say and what works for me, then by all means don't follow what I say and just continue doing what you do and what works for you. But if you do want to see what works for me and what I do, then keep on watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel and let's get into it. So just to start off with the eyes, usually I would take an eye primer. I personally never ever do because my eyeshadow always stays. As you can see, I've already gone and done one eye off camera, but some eye primers I really like is Put a Lid on It by The Balm, and I also really like the Revolution Focus and Fix eye primer. Just to start off with the eye, today I'm taking the Morphe, I don't know if you can guess which palette I'm using, but of course it's going to be the same. It's going to be the Morphe 35W palette, just because today I'm showing you how I do my everyday sort of kind of glam eye look, and I always reach for this palette. So obviously if I always use this palette, then I'm going to show you what I use. But just to start off, I'm taking this light brown in the crease. So you obviously want to take a fluffy brush. Mine's a little bit dirty because I just used it on this eye, but this is a ColourPop blending brush, I'm pretty sure it was. So obviously when you're always doing an eye look, you always want to go in with a transition shade, just because it makes the eyes so much easier to blend out later on. So you want to take a light brown, and you just apply that into the crease, and it just deepens out your crease a little bit. I guess gives it a nice little look, and adds some definition in there. So this is pretty simple. I do this with every look. If I'm doing a dark eye look, like with black shadows, I will always do it before I do my foundation, and same with like glitters and everything, just because I don't want fallout and it's going to ruin my eye look. Also, if you end up with like a little bit of fallout, because I did with the shimmery eyeshadow, you can just brush it away with a brush and it should be fine. Going in above that, or on top of that, I'm taking a slightly darker brown. So this one I'm putting straight in the crease. I'm not blending it up or down. And that's just going to add a lot more definition. I'm taking it quite far in. And just blend it out. I'm taking it quite far out as well of the eye because I'm doing a wing. I just realized I left the fan on. Now, just because I always like to deepen out the outer corner of my eye, I'm taking a slightly darker colour. So I'm just taking a mixture of this brown here and a little bit of this purple. So I'm just taking a smaller, more denser brush. And it's just going to pack on the colour, and obviously it's easier to put the colour where I want it. And then I'm just going to go in and blend that out after. Yeah, I like to add a little bit of depth in the outer corner of my eye. And then just taking my blending brush, I'm going to dip a little bit back into those colours that I put in the crease, just to help the blending. The thing I love with the Morphe palettes is you don't actually get that much fallout with them. As for the lid, I'm taking the ColourPop Golden State of Mind palette. Obviously you can use your finger or a brush, whatever you prefer. So I'm just going to take my finger because I can't be bothered. But I'm taking this colour right here. It's a duochrome colour, and that's called Watch Out. I actually love the colour so much. And this is such a pigmented palette. They're a little bit chalky and quite powdery, but it's still a real beautiful colour. So the duochrome colour is like a greeny kind of blue colour that it reflects. That is like literally all, and then I'm just going back in with my blending brush and just blending out, just in case there's like any harsh lines. I feel like I shouldn't even be showing you this eye look because it's so simple, but I guess because I'm going so in depth with it, I can't really go and do like a real hard out look because I will be here all day. Now, I like to highlight the inner corner and the brow bone with like a pale white colour, just because it brightens it up a lot more and I guess adds highlight. So I'm just taking this colour here. This is just from the 35K palette, and I just highlight the inner corner and brow bone. I love this highlight shade. I use it every day. Moving on to eyeliner, I'm going to be doing a wing. Now, because I am very fussy when it comes to my wing, I use 3 different eyeliners. I use the Maybelline Master Graphic Eyeliner, and I just use that on the lid. So the reason I use this for the lid and not for the wing or inner corner is because of how fat the end is. So you can obviously have it so it's just a point, but I find it's a little bit harder to use for the wing. And so yeah, I just use that on the lid. I like to use that on the lid because obviously I do a slightly thicker line and it's a lot easier, you know, to control with that one. For the wing, because I also really like a crisp, sharp wing, I like to use a really fluidy eyeliner. This one's such a Sado one, and this obviously has a brush to it. So this has like a brush, and so obviously it's really fine, so it's easy to use. And then, just because I like to extend the inner corner because it makes my eye look so much bigger, and because obviously I want it to be real thin and small, I use this eyeliner here. So this is just the Maybelline this is the Revlon Color Stay pen. So as you can see, it's got a real fine point, and I just use that for the inner corner. Basically, I take this eyeliner on the side and I just apply it on the lid. You always want to do like a thicker line at the end and then thinner at the start. I'm going to extend the inner corner with the fine pen. So this, I often always end up poking myself in the eye, but it's a little bit hard to film. You just do like a little thin point and that's pretty much all. So as you can see, it's like extended a little bit more and it just makes your eye look bigger. Now for the wing, because this is a really liquidy eyeliner, it does transfer if you look up, so you have to let this one dry. I guess it's with most, I think, eyeliners like this. But for the wing, I literally just do a line up, very thin line. I don't add so much pressure at the end just so I can get that sharp tip. And I go about halfway and just join it. And just like a little bit more product. I use the smallest amount and just build it up. Just like that, and that's pretty much all for the wing. For mascara, take any mascara you like. This is just an Essence one, it's the Curl Lash. So when I apply my mascara, I find that the best way to do it is by wiggling it backwards and forwards and blinking down. So I can't do it and speak at the same time, so I'll just show you. Like wiggle and blink. Wiggle and blink. And that just gets so much more product off onto the eyes. So when you're moving on to eyelashes, I'm just taking these eyelashes here. These are just the Carla lashes in number 82, the ones I always use. Obviously when you apply them, before you stick down the glue, you want to measure them against your eye just to make sure that they're the right length. These ones are because I wear these all the time. But with any eyelashes, you always want to make sure they're the right length. And if you do need to trim them, you always want to trim them from the end, not the start, because obviously the hairs at the start of the lashes are usually a little bit shorter. So it kind of makes sense to cut the end. The glue I like to use is the Duro glue, and it's just a clear glue. I find this one lasts so long. Keeps my eyelashes on for ages. So with the glue, you just want to let it dry and get tacky for a few seconds. I usually just blow on it just to speed it up. And I use tweezers when I apply my lashes just because obviously it's so much easier and you can get it really close to the lash band. So I'm just going to apply it. So I usually just place it in the middle and then I go from the end and just pinch it down to my natural lashes and just work my way to the front. Then I like to pinch it. So obviously when I do clients, I don't pinch it like this, but I do try my best to get it as close as possible. So now I always apply a little bit of eyeshadow on my bottom lash line. So going back in with the first palette I use. So I'm just taking the first 2 shades that I put in the crease and I'm just gonna blend. I'm just gonna blend that on the bottom lash line. Do a look like this because I'm not doing a dark look. I like to take a white eyeliner. This one's by Lancome, and basically a white eyeliner makes your eye look so much bigger. I'm gonna show you, it makes all the difference. Look at how much bigger that made my eye. So happy. I'm just taking a mascara. So obviously you want to take one that's not going to transfer to the bottom lashes. So I'm taking the Elizabeth Arden Ceramide mascara. This one doesn't transfer. Now I personally don't like having thick bottom lashes, so I don't put that much mascara. And then that is pretty much the finished eye look. Nice and simple.